A couple million feet all cash, baby. I eat a little cheese and a rash, baby. I eat a little cheese like snack, baby.
What's going on, YouTube? Back with another video. Today's video is so special, and I'm so excited because we, and yes, I said we because I'm not the only one that's part of this project, have decided to start a new series called Breaking Through Mental Health. Jeremiah Williams, who's also another hooper and content creator, and myself have decided to start a movement this month to bring awareness on mental health, specifically in sports. If you're a hooper like that, you've definitely seen his video online on social media. It went viral at one point. He is basically the one that turned his barn into a basketball court. So, like I said, if you're a hooper, you've definitely seen this video. The month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So for those who've been following me for a while, you already know that I am a proud mental health advocate. So it was a must for me to take action this month to bring awareness on mental health. Our purpose with this movement is to normalize mental health in sports. Unfortunately, mental health is a very sensitive topic in the sports world. You'd be surprised at how many athletes, coaches, trainers suffer from a mental health disorder but refuse to talk about it in fear of being judged and misunderstood. So with the YouTube series, we'll be interviewing college athletes, pro athletes, trainers, coaches, influencers of all levels, of all sports, on the topic of mental health, to show you that you're not alone, that it's okay to talk about your mental health disorder, that it's okay to talk about how you feel, how you think, and it's okay not to be okay. I have some amazing people that are willing to be interviewed. Honestly, I didn't even expect this much support. We kind of just started not long ago. And then the YouTube series idea came literally a few days ago. And, we've been grinding, messaging people for interviews. And like I said, the amount of support that we've received in terms of people actually wanting to be interviewed is amazing. And I am so excited to have these people on here. All right, so we're gonna start the series with episode 1 featuring Darrynton Evans. He came on the football college scene as a 2-star recruit, so he was an underdog, but he had a very successful college career. He was 2-time first team All Sun Belt in 2018 and in 2019. He was the MVP of the 2018 and 2019 Sun Belt Conference Football Championship game. He was a Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year in 2019. He was the MVP of the 2019 New Orleans Bowl. He entered the 2020 NFL Draft and then got selected by the Tennessee Titans with the 93rd overall pick in the 3rd round. So he made a lot of noise in college, and he will definitely go down as one of the greatest football players at App State. And I know for a fact at the pro level, he's gonna make so much more noise and prove so many people wrong. Once again, we got Darrynton Evans. What's up, Darrynton? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am good. All right, so let's get things started. So, brief description of yourself and just your upbringing. So where you're from, why you started playing football, and your dreams growing up.
I'm from Florida, Oak Hill, Florida, small town outside of New Smyrna and Daytona Beach. Both parents, I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. My dreams really wasn't to be in the NFL, it was just to be successful at whatever I was doing. I played all sports, so I ran track when I was younger, played basketball when I was younger, did baseball when I was younger, and played football. And I would say I was pretty good at all of them, honestly. But when I got to high school, I kind of knew which sports I could potentially get like scholarship money for. And that's kind of the route I took once I got there.
Gotcha. And so obviously you, people that don't know, you grew up from a family that had crazy talent in sports that played professionally. So just elaborate a little bit on that.
I had my father, he was drafted in the MLB. My uncle played for the Phillies. I had a lot of older cousins playing the NFL. So it's kind of good, being able to be around people on a day-to-day basis to experience certain things that I'm kind of going through, and being able to talk to them about it.
Good. And so, which brings to my next question, which is perfect. You're an athlete and you were surrounded by athletes. So as an athlete, why do you think there's a stigma on mental health, specifically in sports?
I would say because of the stress needed to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
But having to take that accountability and responsibility, everybody, isn't able to do it. As a male, you're supposed to be strong, tough, and kind of deal with things, and that's kind of how people try and view it. But at the same time, it's not that easy.
Right. So, coming from a small town, playing at a low profile high school in the super competitive Florida high school football scene, how were you able to push through mentally? Because you were a 2-star recruit, so obviously you were a huge underdog. Assuming you had a lot of doubters. And so, how were you able to push through that mentally?
Mentally, it was kind of tough. At times you get down about yourself, question your talents, question if you're good enough. But at the end of the day, like whenever I was on the field or the basketball court or the track or the baseball field, like my main thing for me was to make sure whoever it was on the other side knew who I was and respected who I was. So as long as the other coaches, the other players respected me, at the end of the day, I was satisfied. And then when it came to getting recruited, like if a team told me I wasn't big enough, fast enough, or strong enough, like it kind of hurt. But at the same time, I knew if I had the opportunity to go against them in the future, like I would make the most of it.
Right. And so, did you have any dream schools in mind when you were in high school?
I would say primarily the big three in Florida, with Florida State, Miami, and the University of Florida.
And so, for those athletes who are trying to play for those schools, but are, like you, the same situation as you were, where they're just not getting that exposure and, those high power schools aren't looking at them, what would you tell those athletes?
I would focus more on who's actually recruiting you. Getting all into big name schools and the amount of stars you get on the website, like that stuff's cool and all, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And I would say go to whatever school needs you instead of the school that you want to go to. A lot of times that's definitely the best route to take. With me going to App State, I went to App State because I knew they needed receivers and they needed running backs. And when they recruited me, they said I could play both. So I knew at the same time I would not come in and redshirt. Like I would play early. So I played my freshman year. A lot of times you go to a bigger school, you don't get opportunities like that.
Right.
And if you think about it draft wise, a lot of the dudes that get drafted in the NFL are a lot of 3, 2, and like no star guys. A lot of the 5 stars and 4 stars are guys that kind of tend to bounce from school to school because they don't get their way, and they don't have that chip on their shoulder, I'll kind of say, because they've never been told no. Right. So whenever something goes wrong for them, they don't know how to react to it. But when you've been in the position that we've been in, you know what I'm saying, you're kind of used to it. Right. It's kind of a comforting, I ain't say comforting, but like you're comfortable being in that feeling because you've been there before.
Exactly. So other than being under recruited, what are some other challenges that you faced throughout your career?
Definitely injuries. High school, I dealt with some injuries. College, I missed a year. I missed my second year to an injury. And then this past season, my rookie season, I missed a couple games to an injury.
Yeah, so how were you able to push through those injuries? Because I'm sure there's a lot of athletes out there who just continuously get hurt, get injured, and they keep getting sidelined. It doesn't seem to get better. So what would you tell those athletes to focus on mentally?
I would say, just kind of protect your peace. Whatever it is that makes you happy, do that. For me, I know it was more so spiritually, like getting closer with God, working on that. Just knowing it was some good gonna come out of this situation. I looked at it as a period of testing versus, a period of like punishment or like God putting me down. And then oftentimes whenever I would just say every time whenever I came back from an injury, I bounced back and it looked like I'm better than I was before. So
yeah, I saw that.
It really wasn't nothing I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wouldn't be nothing I did, but at the same time, like I was more thankful for every opportunity that I got after that from being hurt.
Right. Because I've seen, you had MVPs in 2018, 2019, hella MVPs, and then obviously got drafted. So you clearly bounced back even harder after those injuries. And I think that's definitely something that a lot of athletes can look up to. And so Next one is, generally speaking, battling a mental health disorder can be a little easier when you have a strong support system on your side. So with that being said, I want you to emphasize the importance of having good, healthy people around you. You're super family oriented and you value friendships. So just kind of explain to the people how important it is to have good, strong, and supportive people around you and how much that helps your mental health.
Definitely having people around you that can, you know what I'm saying, be there for you when you need them. Two is better than one. As long as you got somebody else with you, that's somebody you can lean on when you're falling, or whenever you do fall, they can pick you up. I would definitely say like having that foundation, like that a strong foundation is definitely major because it's solid. You don't ever have to worry about it breaking. Whatever you go through, whether it's an injury that brings mental health, a death in the family, things just not going your way, you still have a solid foundation that you can fall back on and know that, all right, I can lean on this select group of people. They're going to be there for me no matter what, whether it's good or bad. When you don't have that solid foundation, I'm not going to lie, it's tough because it's a lot of people deal with certain things better than others, but we're all dealing with something at the end of the day, right, whether we try and hide it or make it known. So, you know, I would definitely want to emphasize the need to, whoever you are, you know what I'm saying, find that team, find that support team, find that group. And if you don't have that, you know what I'm saying, just ask questions, go get help, because it's a lot of people who need help, but they don't want to speak out because they don't want to be looked at a certain way. But in reality, like the only way to help yourself is to, you know what I'm saying, you got to put that first foot forward.
Right. Never alone. That's true. And so you also have a really good relationship with your new offensive coach, Todd Downing. Again, I want you to emphasize the importance of relationships, but now we're talking about the coaching staff. So just go off on that and explain to us why a relationship with the coach is important for your mental health, and why is a coach important to be there to support you through the ups and downs.
Yeah, I would say having that relationship is definitely critical, because I actually wanted to get into coaching one day, and my main thing was to like to help kids, you know what I'm saying, get to wherever they want to be. And the thing is, like, you got to understand, like, by me being states away, 600 plus miles away from home, like, this is my family up here. Whether it's right now, whether it was when I was in college, like, that is the initial people who I could lean on. And if something happened, like, they were the closest vicinity to me to, you know what I'm saying, be my help. So having those relationships is big because you can lean on them. Mm-hmm. And even now, I got coaches that coached me in high school, coached me in college, some that coached me in the NFL, players I played with in high school, college, NFL that are on different teams or doing different things or at different points in their life, to where I can still reach out to them now. And if I need something, we may not have talked for 5-10 years, but if they need something, I got them. If I need something, they got me. And that's, a lot of people can't say that, but that's definitely one thing that is very essential.
That is true. A lot of people can't say that about coaches. Coaches have such a huge role in players' lives. So that's amazing that you have that relationship with coaches. And so obviously football is a man's sport, one of the toughest sports to play. How is mental health, viewed in football, like depression, anxiety, and stuff like that? How is that viewed in there?
I would say it's viewed as you're supposed to be tough and it's supposed to look easy, but at the end of the day, it's not. The game of football professionally is very demanding. Right now we're in the off season, but it feels like it's never off season because you're continuously working. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're not ready. Like, you want to be ready at all times. Right. And then when you think about it, in college, you play a guaranteed 10 to 12 games. In the NFL, you can play potentially 24 games, which is double a college season. And that's a long time to be like in a building. That's a long time to be around people, especially this year with COVID. Like, you're not around your family. Like, that's a whole different element added on top of all the, you know what I'm saying, like the stress of it not having like any job security. It's hard to build relationships, true relationships, because you may have somebody in the locker next to you today, and then tomorrow they're gone. or you may be the person that's gone. Like different things like that you have to think of and worry about. It's hard, but at the same time, we understood what we were getting into before we got here, and that's the reason why a lot of people say, "Well, deal with it. You're getting paid this to do it," but they really don't understand the feeling to where even if you're doing everything right, you can be without a job and on the street tomorrow. And I'm sure if every job was like that, they wouldn't say half the things that they do say in the media about people who talk about mental health or people who talk about different issues that they're dealing with and need to get handled.
Right. So you personally, let's say you're going through just a down period. I know with your injuries, not sure how you felt mentally, but how do you feel as a man playing football, publicly telling people, look, I'm struggling mentally? Do you have a fear of being judged and misunderstood?
I would say the younger me, yeah, because I was kind of immature. I really worried about what people thought of me. But like now, not really. I'm more in tune with myself, in tune spiritually, to where I'm really not worried about what the world thinks of me. I'm more concerned about getting help for myself. So if I need to speak up and say I need help, I will speak up and say I need help, whether it's publicly, personally, one-on-one with somebody. Like I'm going to find a way to get help. And if I needed to do a press conference to find a way to get help because nobody here can help me, I will do that and have no shame about it.
I love that. And so what are some coping mechanisms that you like to do when you are feeling down? Like especially, let's say you had an injury during your injury days. What are some coping mechanisms that you would do to help yourself mentally?
For me, a lot of times now, what I do, and even then, like I'm more in tune spiritually, so I definitely get in my Bible, talk to my mom about my Bible, grandmother, team chaplains, teammates, pastors, like anyone like that. I would say that's definitely my main thing because it has a lot of principles in there, and through those principles, it teach you how to live through certain situations, deal with certain situations, and then when those things show up to me, I can put it into practice.
All right. Good. So to finish things off, what advice would you give to other athletes who are suffering from a mental health disorder?
I would say, do what's best for you. If you are suffering from mental health or a different type of disorder, speak up, get help. Don't be ashamed of it. Everybody's going through something, whether they look like they are, they aren't. I'm sure people like the president, LeBron James, it could be the biggest rapper, singer, artist. It don't matter. Everybody's dealing with something at the end of the day. But it's about having that team behind you and just having the need to ask for help. And nobody can help you if you don't want to help yourself.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming through. I know your words hold a lot of power considering your status and your achievements and your success. So I really appreciate you coming through and speaking about mental health.
Appreciate you for having me.
And that concludes the first interview for Breaking Through Mental Health. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the support that we've received so far in terms of people wanting to get interviewed is absolutely insane. So I cannot wait to have those people on here and talk about mental health. Also, a little spoiler alert, I will be going to LA this summer. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just know that it's about to be crazy. Definitely going to hit another breakthrough this summer. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. You already know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you underdogs later.
I'm breaking chains. Yeah. Tell me feeling bubbly off the rose. Friends turn to foes, haters tell them go away. Rappers making shiggy dance like a soul train.